Alright, the M111 cylinder head gasket DIY is officially under progress. So, the way I begun was by actually driving my car around for a little bit so that I could warm the engine up, so that I could to siphon the oil out with my little handy pump here. Siphon it out through the oil dipstick tube. When the engine oil is warm, it comes out very, very easily because it flows a lot better than cold oil. And the second thing that you need the engine to be warm for is to drain the coolant. So you see you've got the little drain plug over here. You unscrew it a tiny little bit and then coolant starts to flow out. And I've attached this little vinyl hose just to help guide it into the pan. But anyway, you want the engine to be warm for this because the thermostat's going to be open and therefore you're going to be draining the coolant out of the block as well as what's in the radiator. And the third thing that I did was, since my car's going to be here for a couple of weeks or so, is I just removed the battery out of the trunk just to make sure it doesn't discharge should the repair take a little bit longer than I planned.
What you got there, Pat? Some plastic bottles? I thought this was a car channel, not some recycling center. Well, guys, I promise you that they're useful, so just be patient with me here. Magnets? What? And what's this? Scrub pads? Pat, this is a bad start. Where are the car parts at? Oh, here they are. Here's a new valve cover gasket. Oil pan gasket. That's not going to be installed in this series of videos because it requires the engine to be lifted up slightly. The problem with that being A, how are you going to lift an engine up without a cylinder head, and B, how are you going to lift up an engine without an engine lift? Cylinder head gasket kit, the main focus of this video, comes with a bunch of new seals, O-rings, and whatnot. New radiator hoses, lower rad, upper rad, rad to expansion tank. Some new spark tube seals for the valve cover. Unknown O-rings A and B. New coolant bypass hose. New belt tensioner pulley. And also a new belt tensioner shock. I ended up purchasing some more parts while in the middle of this repair, and included in that purchase was a new belt tensioner. However, instead of showing you those parts in this video, I'll keep the original sequence of recordings and I will show you those in a later video. Here we have two sets of new camshaft sprocket bolts. I bought an extra set just in case I messed up the timing on my first attempt. These are one-time use bolts. I also have a new set of cylinder head bolts. They are torque to yield and thus must be replaced when the cylinder head is removed. This set actually comes with enough bolts for an M104, so you will have 4 extra bolts. It was cheaper than buying them individually. Next are Bosch F8 DC4 spark plugs, non-resistor, copper core, and the best you can have for this engine. So that's it for this short little introduction video. Next up will be the disassembly. See you soon!